Stop wasting your workouts on ab exercises that feel productive but barely change your physique. Seriously, if your current core routine has you bouncing from crunches to leg raises to bicycle kicks to planks to Russian twists, and you still don't have the abs you're chasing, the problem probably isn't your effort, it's your strategy. And once you understand what actually builds visible abs, you're never going to look at ab training the same way again. Most people think getting abs means doing more exercises, more circuits, more burn, more time. So they walk into the gym and throw together this giant menu of core work: crunches, hanging leg raises, sit-ups, cable crunches, flutter kicks, toe touches, planks, side bends, mountain climbers, and a bunch of other random movements they saw online. Before they know it, they've spent 20 or even 30 minutes training abs alone. And after doing that for months, sometimes even longer, they still look in the mirror and feel like nothing has changed. If that sounds familiar, you're not lazy and you're not broken. You've just been following a bad plan. Because the truth is, you do not need 10 ab exercises. You don't need 5. You really only need 2. Just 2 movements done the right way, with the right intent, and with actual progression over time. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what those 2 exercises are, why they outperform almost everything else people waste time on, how to do them correctly so your abs are actually doing the work, and what you need to understand about how visible abs are created in the first place. And make sure you stay to the end, because I'm also going to show you the one mistake that destroys most people's ab progress, the mistake that keeps them working hard while getting almost nowhere, and almost nobody talks about it. Now, before we talk about the exercises, we need to get one thing straight. Visible abs are always the result of 2 things happening at the same time. First, you need abdominal muscles that are actually developed, not just worked, not just fatigued, but trained enough to have real thickness, shape, and definition. Second, you need a low enough body fat percentage for those muscles to actually show through. That means no matter how many crunches you do, no matter how crazy the ab circuit is, no exercise on earth can magically reveal your abs if they're covered by too much body fat. That's not negativity. That's not me being harsh. That's just how the human body works. So yes, your diet matters a lot. If your nutrition isn't dialed in, then your ab training is only solving half the problem. But this video is focused on the training side of the equation, and I want to show you how to make that side far more efficient and far more productive. Now, here's where most people completely miss the point. The main muscle people are trying to build when they say they want a six-pack is the rectus abdominis. That's the muscle responsible for those visible segmented lines. And the primary function of that muscle is actually very simple: spinal flexion. In other words, it curls your torso by bringing your rib cage closer to your pelvis. Yes, your abs also help stabilize your trunk, and yes, they assist in other movements, but their main job, the big one, is flexing the spine. And once you truly understand that, a lot of ab training suddenly starts to look repetitive, because so many different ab exercises are really just slightly different versions of the same basic movement pattern. And then on top of that, you need a movement that trains the deeper core muscles in a way spinal flexion alone does not. The first exercise is the cable crunch. And before you tune out because you've seen cable crunches before, stay with me, because the overwhelming majority of people butcher this movement. I'm talking about people doing it for years and still never getting close to the benefit the exercise can actually provide. Most people are probably getting maybe 30% of what they could get from it. The reason the cable crunch is so powerful is simple. It gives you constant resistance through the entire movement. Think about a regular floor crunch. At certain points, especially when you're stretched out near the bottom, your abs are barely loaded in any meaningful way. The resistance profile is weak. Your body position just doesn't create the same kind of tension where you need it most. But with a cable, the tension stays on the muscle. At the top, at the bottom, and everywhere in between, your abs are forced to work. That constant resistance is exactly what makes the movement so effective for creating the kind of mechanical tension that drives muscle growth. And if muscle growth is your goal, which it should be if you want visible, well-developed abs, then that matters a lot. So here's how to do it properly. Set up a cable attachment on a high cable pulley. Grab the rope, then kneel facing the machine about 2 feet away from the weight stack. Bring your hands to the sides of your head so your fists are roughly next to your temples. That part matters more than people think. Your hands should not be pulling from out in front of you, and they should not be locked behind your head. Keep them beside your head and keep them there throughout the set. Now, here's the mistake almost everybody makes. They turn the movement into an arm exercise. They yank the rope downward using their shoulders, lats, and triceps, and then wonder why their abs barely feel anything. That is not the goal. Your arms are just hooks. Your hands are just holding position. The actual movement should come from your spine curling downward. You want to round through your torso, bring your ribcage toward your pelvis, and fully contract your abs at the bottom. Think about trying to curl yourself inward, almost like you're trying to bring your elbows toward your thighs. At the bottom, pause for a full second. Don't just bounce, don't rush it. Actually squeeze. Actually feel the abs shortening hard. Then slowly reverse the movement and come back up under control. Let your abs lengthen at the top. You should feel a real stretch there, not just a reset before the next rep. The second exercise is the ab wheel rollout. This movement is one of the most overlooked core exercises in existence. It doesn't look flashy, it doesn't look trendy, it's not the kind of thing people post because it seems hardcore at first glance. But make no mistake, this exercise is brutally effective when done correctly. And the reason it's so valuable is because it trains your core in a completely different way from cable crunches. With a cable crunch, your abs are shortening to create spinal flexion. With the ab wheel rollout, your abs are working primarily to resist spinal extension. In plain English, as you roll forward, your body wants to collapse, your lower back wants to arch, your spine wants to extend. Your abs have to fight like crazy to stop that from happening. That anti-extension demand creates tremendous tension across the entire front side of your core. Your rectus abdominis is working, your transversus abdominis is working, your obliques are working. Your entire anterior core has to switch on to keep your torso stable and stop your body from folding toward the floor. And there really isn't another exercise that challenges the core in quite the same way. What makes the rollout even better is that it trains your abs while they're lengthened. Exercise science has repeatedly pointed towards the value of loading muscles in a stretched position for hypertrophy. In other words, when a muscle is working hard while lengthened, that can be an extremely powerful growth stimulus. That's exactly what happens in the rollout. When you extend forward, your abs are under serious tension in a stretched position, and that makes the exercise incredibly effective for building a stronger, more developed core. Now let's talk about technique, because just like the cable crunch, this exercise only works if you perform it correctly. Start by kneeling on a mat with the ab wheel directly under your shoulders. Keep your knees about hip-width apart. Before you move at all, brace your midsection like someone is about to punch you in the stomach. Squeeze your glutes. Slightly tuck your pelvis. Those details are not optional. If you don't tuck the pelvis and engage your glutes, your lower back will start to arch as soon as you roll out, and instead of targeting the abs properly, you'll dump tension into your lower back and hip flexors. From there, slowly roll the wheel forward while maintaining a neutral spine the entire time. Only go as far as you can without losing your position. For beginners, that might be a short range, and that is completely fine. You do not get extra points for collapsing. Pause briefly in the extended position, then pull yourself back in by driving through your abs and maintaining that braced posture all the way to the start. The return part matters just as much as the rollout itself, so don't rush it. If you're new to this movement, start with maybe 5 reps per set and focus entirely on quality. This exercise hits hard, and if you jump in too aggressively, your core will remind you the next day. A smart approach is 3 to 4 sets, gradually improving both your reps and the distance you can roll out while keeping perfect form. Now, some of you might be thinking, what about the obliques? What about the V-line? And that's a fair question. The truth is, both cable crunches and ab wheel rollouts do involve the obliques, especially as stabilizers. If you really want extra oblique emphasis, you can absolutely add a small amount of accessory work like a pal-off press or a cable wood chop. But for most people, that's not where the big return is going to come from. For the majority of viewers, getting seriously strong at cable crunches and ab wheel rollouts will create more visible overall abdominal development than hopping through a dozen extra movements ever will. And when you pair that with getting lean enough, your obliques will show. Now, let's talk about training frequency, because this is another area where people get it wrong in both directions. Some people train abs every day because they assume more is always better. Others do 0 direct ab work because they believe squats, deadlifts, and compound lifts are enough on their own. The truth is somewhere in the middle. Yes, compound lifts do train the core, that's real, But if your goal is maximum abdominal development, direct training matters. At the same time, your abs still need recovery like any other muscle group. If you hammer them every single day, you're not giving them enough time to adapt, recover, and grow stronger. For most people, 2 to 3 direct ab sessions per week is the sweet spot. That gives you enough frequency to improve while still allowing recovery between sessions. Now, I told you earlier I'd reveal the biggest mistake that destroys ab progress, and here it is. Most people train abs with zero seriousness. They throw them in at the end of a workout when they're already drained, do a few lazy sets with no progression, no focus, and no purpose, and then wonder why their core never changes. They're not training abs to build them, they're just checking a box. And that approach kills progress. So if you've been spinning your wheels and feeling like your ab training never leads anywhere, give this approach a real shot. Commit to it for the next 8 to 12 weeks. Track your cable crunch weight. Track your rollout range and reps. Watch those numbers improve. Then look in the mirror and tell me your core doesn't look different. If this video changed the way you think about ab training, hit the like button because it genuinely helps this content reach more people. And if you want more no BS science-based advice on building a better physique without all the noise and nonsense, subscribe to the channel because that's exactly what I'm here to do. And drop a comment below letting me know where your ab training stands right now and what your biggest struggle has been. I read the comments and I always try to help point people in the right direction.